Hello, and welcome to Dickinson's Real Deal. On this show, I help members of the public to get the very best price for their antiques and valuables. We give you a choice. Sit down with one of our regular dealers. They're going to try and tempt you with a cash offer on the table today.
£150.
No, that's just for one of them.
No, that's for 3 of them.
I can't believe it.
If you don't think that's enough money, there's an alternative. You can gamble. Place those same goods into an auction in the hope that you will get a little bit more money there. I will be on hand at all times to help and advise you. Now, today the show comes to you from Skipton in Yorkshire. There's a wonderful crowd of people. They've been here since early this morning. They are determined to do business. They want to sit down with our dealers. They want to walk away. Well, you know what they want. They want the real deal.
Our first item of the day is a 1930s chainmail purse, and ready to take on Cheryl Halfpenny is one of the youngest sellers we've ever had on the show.
I'm not going to stop, but I'm just going to get all the money out of the purse.
Oh, I think she might be a tough cookie, this one.
You could be right, Cheryl.
Hello, and what's your name?
Willow.
And how old are you, Willow?
6.
I think you must be the youngest seller that I've ever met on this programme. And definitely the prettiest. And who's this you brought along?
Georgie.
Georgie. Who's going to tell me about this little item you've brought along?
Georgie.
Nominations. It's a little purse I bought from an auction. Don't know much about it, if I'm honest. It was just an impulse buy. I just loved it, so I just had to buy it.
And do you know anything else about it?
Not really. I had it tested. It is just silver plated. I know it is a metal purse, but
What's made you think about selling it if you've only just bought it?
it doesn't get seen. It's a shame, really. I know you can't use it because it's not really practical. But it just doesn't get seen enough. I think it's a bit of a shame to have it just sat away somewhere.
Well, let's just have a quick look. Like you said, it's silver plate, unfortunately,
Yeah.
which will affect its value, as we know. And this chain mail here, it's really important that there's no tears in it. And if we just have a look there, that looks in really good condition, and all the little beading is all intact across the bottom. And what kind of date do you think it is?
I have no idea. I couldn't
Well,
tell you.
I would have said probably 1920s, 1930s. What would you do with the money if you sold it to me today?
I'm going to be buying a car with it.
So you're hoping to get quite a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully so.
Let's get some cash out. How about £20?
No.
That was a definite no. Have you played this game before?
Yeah.
Yes. How about £30?
No.
No. Oh, Willow, no. David.
Well, Willow, let me tell you what these clever clogs, these experts on the show say. They're all between 30 to 35, 30 to 50 pounds. If you could get another £5, I would say that's about it. So look at Cheryl and say, please, Cheryl, could I have a little bit more, please? And you just might.
Well, what do you think? The shaking of your head. So if I put 5 down, Georgia 35, what do you think?
I think maybe if there was another 5, then I would sell it.
Another 5.
Another 5, don't you think? Willow needs some profit.
Yeah, I need some money as well.
You're driving a bit of a hard bargain. Because you are really cute and I really like you, I wouldn't normally ever pay this for that. But there's £40.
I think we should deal.
Okay.
There we go.
Shake hands. This must be the hardest
It
deal.
was hard.
Shake
It's hard
hands.
for me to
The
come.
hardest deal I've ever done.
She does drive a hard
I think
bargain.
she's going to go father's child.
Over to Henry Nichols, and Ian has brought in a Cavalier sword.
I like the sword, but I don't know that Ian would really take my offer because I don't think I'm going to offer enough potentially for what it's worth, but we'll see.
So how much is Ian looking for?
Well, the least I'm going to accept, I would think, would be about £350.
Let battle commence.
Well, nice looking sword.
Mhm.
What can you tell me about it?
Well, I believe it's a Victorian soldier's dress sword. Apart from that, That's all I know about it.
How long have you had it?
I've had it about 20 years.
Right.
It's been an ornament on the beam.
Yeah.
We moved house.
Right.
And I'd nowhere to put it.
Okay.
I saw the advert in the paper,
Yeah.
Dickinson's Real Deal.
Absolutely.
And we thought we'd just come for a nosy round. And I saw the sword and I thought, I'll have that. I'll take
Absolutely.
that down and see if anyone's interested. And here we are.
Well, let's have a look at the sword itself. You are right, it is Victorian. It's got this very, very stiff leather scabbard here. You've got brass hilt, and what I love is this silver wire that we've got on the handle here. I think it's a nice little touch. I mean, it's fairly standard for swords of that age. So we have a look at the blade. The blade's actually in really lovely condition. All this chasing here has not been polished out.
No.
It's not got any signs of rust to it.
No.
And for its age, overall, it's really good. I'm going to put some money on the table, see if I can tempt it out of
Very
you.
good.
20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120 pounds. That's a very definite shake of the head.
Very definite shake of the head.
Am I far away? I think I should ask for David's opinion. David, what do you think?
I'll tell you what our independent valuers say and the auctioneer. They are saying £200 to £300. If you went to the auction and got 300, you would have £45 to take off. So I think it's in that £250 to £300 within that region. I'm also told that swords are doing realistically well in the sale room at the moment.
Thank you, David. Well, that makes my offer look a bit mean,
It does,
doesn't
doesn't it?
It
Yes.
does, yeah. Yeah. OK, I'll put some more money on the table and see if I can prize it out of you.
Right.
140, 160, 180. I'm going to go 200. And there, Ian, I think I'm going to stop. Because as much as swords might be doing well in the auction room, I'm not really that confident that it's going to earn me any sort of money in cold blood.
Well, 200 is there. If you go to auction and get 250, we're probably talking somewhere close to that. The question is, will it bring over the 250 and will it get to the 300? I don't know. So I'm putting the pressure on you and I'm going to say you are making the decision. I think at £200 it's a fairly safe offer, but you've still got to get someone at that sale that wants that sword for their wall.
That price.
Thank you, David. You could find on the day there'll be a couple of collectors that will go potty for it. The very reason being, it's cleanliness. It's really lovely. You've got a bit of wear on the scabbard, but not as much wear as I would have expected to have seen for a mid-19th century cavalry sword, you know? I'm out at 200.
Deal.
Thank you very much
Thank you.
indeed. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
No problem.
It's £150 less than Ian wanted, but he's remaining philosophical.
I thought a bird in the hand's worth two in the bush.
Next up is Jean, who's brought along a Royal Dalton Toby jug.
Well, we've had him a good few years, and I think it's about time that we got rid of him and we could raise a few £100, I think, on this Toby jug. So I'm looking for a really good deal.
Well, Jean's got her hopes up high. What's Joe Brayshaw thinking?
I'd like to go home now because I've got to do a Toby jug.
Oh dear.
Have you had him long?
Yes, 42 years exactly.
And you
It's a
couldn't...
wedding present.
Was it? Somebody really didn't like you much, did they?
I thought that.
So, after 42 years of having this delightful object in your abode, you decided today, all days, to bring it here.
Yes. I sort of got fed up of looking at him, really.
That's a surprise. Let's be professional and investigate this fine decorative object. I am keeping a straight face here.
Yes.
This is, as we all know, a Dalton Toby jug. And it's called Ardeverin. They missed off the H's, obviously.
Yes.
And it's but ugly, isn't it?
Definitely. Well, it's one of those that you either love him or you hate him.
I hate him.
I quite liked him when we first got him, but I've gone off him.
It's absolutely horrible, and this isn't a lesson on how not to buy a Toby jug. I don't keep coins in that purse.
Good.
I keep them in this purse.
quite shiny.
It's lovely and shiny.
I was expecting a little bit more of a rustle, really.
A rustle rather than a rattle.
And then a rattle, yes.
Not from me.
But you might have somebody that would fall in love with it.
I don't want to know anybody that would fall in love with that.
I'm sure you do.
Let me think about it, and it's still a no. So my offer for your Toby jug, I think this might be the biggest hint ever to go to auction, is 1 penny.
Right. Right, I think we'll take him to auction. I'm sure somebody will love him.
Yes, well, that's lovely. And here endeth my lesson on how not to buy a Toby jug.
Coming up, Jo has a love-hate relationship with Toby jugs, but has she missed out on a cracking buy? Auctioneer Kevin Kendall seems to think so.
If this turns out to be one of the rarer pieces, it could well do £200 or £300 or more.
We'll find out if this ugly chap can find a friend in the sale room after the break. Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal from Skipton in North Yorkshire. Before the break, Jo made a measly offer for Jean's Royal Dalton Toby jug.
I was expecting a little bit more of a rustle, really.
A rustle rather than a rattle.
Then a rattle, yes.
Not from me.
After closer inspection, it looks like the jug could be a rare one. Is Jean about to have the last laugh? It's going under the gavel of auctioneer Kevin Kendall.
You were offered 1p by Jo Brayshaw. How dare you, Jo? She's the devil, that girl. There's a reserve of £200. It's here now. My only reservation is it too ambitious, with the marketplace in these jugs being a little bit down? Let's find out.
Start me £100 then. £100 bid, 100 bid, 100 bid, 110, 120, 140, 160, 180, 200.
What's that you say?
200 bid. We're selling at 200 only. 220 now online. 230. We'll take little bids yet. Be fair with you. 230.
It wasn't too ambitious. They're now at 230. Now, apparently some of these character jugs are still doing well.
230 now in the room. 230. 230. 230. Take 40 online. 240. 240. You sure now? 240. 240 the bids on the internet, and we sell at 240.
£240 took me a little bit by surprise, and the reason I say that is because the marketplace is a little bit down, but it depends on the jugs. So £240 under the gavel has brought, I would say, a smile or maybe a smirk to your face.
Yes, yes.
So what do you think?
I think that was well worth keeping all this time, and now I can put that away for a holiday fund.
OK, anything else to say to Jo about the generous offer of...
Look what you missed out on.
Look what you've missed out on, Jo. On the day, the real deal, 240 quid, taking home £196 to the holiday fund, real deal.
Maybe Jo might take a bit more of a fancy to Toby jugs in the future. Back in the dealer's den, and a Troika vase is next for Tony Gearing.
I really do like Troika, but I don't... The colours aren't great, so we'll see what happens, eh?
Looking a bit shifty there, Tony. Are you trying to hide something?
Hello, I'm Alice.
Hello, Alice. Lovely to meet you. And
Thank you.
I see you bought a bit of Troika in for us today.
Yep.
Can you tell me a little bit about it?
My daughter bought me it. I don't know whether it was for a birthday or whether it was for Mother's Day.
Did she buy it new for you?
Yes, she did, yeah.
So that's sort of 20...
In around 1970s.
30 years
70
ago.
odds, you know, yeah.
Sweet little piece, isn't it, really?
I think so, yeah.
Typical of their work. Nice high relief on the decoration of it.
Yeah, the colours I think are nice, aren't they? Well, I prefer it to the grey one.
The grey ones, well, they did them in all colours, all sorts of colours and glazes and different shapes, always these kind of progressive shapes. And typical of the period, you know, the 70s sort of glamour of that era. Well, I quite like Troika. I mean, it's a sweet little piece. We can see under here, this will be the artist's signature, which I'd have to look up myself to actually find out. But let's see what we can get for your daughter's present. Not worth giving back to your daughter as a keepsake?
No, she wouldn't want it.
She doesn't like it?
No, she wouldn't want it.
Well, she must have liked it to buy it for you in the first place.
I don't know. She probably thought more of me liking it than her. I would think so, anyway.
What's her name?
Susan.
Susan. OK, well, let's see what we can get for Susan's present for you, shall we? 20? 40?
Carry on.
Yes, ma'am. 60?
I think you can do better than that.
80. There you go. That's...
You're not stopping there, are you?
I am.
Are you really?
Oh, yes.
Wow. Well, I thought it was worth a little bit more than that.
I'm afraid I don't. I've actually gone quite out there with that, I think. Some of the bigger birds, I mean the big stuff, you're talking sort of 300 or 400.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably sell that, put that on the table for about 110, probably take 90 for it. That's where I'd see it, as a dealer to sell it. But then, you know, the auctioneer might see a bit more in it.
I think we'll have a deal then.
Lovely. Thank you, Alice.
Thank you,
You're
Toby,
most, but thank you for your patience.
Thank you, yeah.
Not a bad offer from Tony. He must have liked it after all. Over to Henry now to see what he's thinking about his next item.
For me, really all they're going to be worth is a little bit below the scrap value. So I'm not that worried if I don't buy them. I'm Henry.
Looks like you've got your work cut out, Amar.
Well, Emma, what have you brought in to show me today?
I've bought some kind of sovereign coins.
Yep.
There's 70 pieces of them.
Yep.
In a very nice display box.
Okay.
And
fantastic.
It's a very good kind of collectible item.
Yeah. Where did you get them from? What's the history?
I bought these a couple of years ago from an auction.
Okay.
I quite like the shine on them and gold, bling bling,
yep.
all the way. So I just kind of fancied them and I've had them. And I just thought, let's try yourselves.
Yeah. Time to get rid of them, move them on, hopefully make a profit.
Yep.
Well, let's take a look at what we've got. I only wish they were gold sovereigns, because you'd be sitting on a fortune here.
Yeah.
There is, as you say rightly, a collection of commemorative coins. Now, they're actually silver gilt, okay, which is basically the coins are made of silver and then they're coated with 22 carat gold plating, okay? And what they actually commemorate, they commemorate all the kings and queens of England, okay? And it goes from King Offa here, who succeeded to the throne in 757, through to our current Queen Elizabeth II, who obviously is still sitting on the throne now.
Still sitting, yeah.
Each coin is beautifully struck, but because it's beautifully struck doesn't mean to say that it's going to be worth a lot of money.
Okay.
So I'm going to get some money out onto the table and see if I can tempt you, okay, and see if we can get you maybe a weekend away or something.
Yeah.
20, 40, 60, 80 pounds.
No.
No. Am I far away?
A bit too far away.
A bit too far away, okay. Well, I can go a little bit more. I'll go to 100. Go 110. 110 pounds. I mean, it may well be that if you went to auction, you'd probably do quite well with them because you might get people there that specialise in these types of coins.
I think that's not even the scrap value, if I'm
I
not
worked
right.
out that they scrap at about 130, 135 pounds. That's what I can get for them at the scrap weight as of today, but obviously I have to make a profit.
Obviously, yeah.
So I think 110 is where I want to be. I think any more than that, I think you should take them to auction because you could end up finding the right person.
Is that your last?
I think it is, to be honest. I think it is.
I think I'll take them to auction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much indeed. All the very best.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Amar was offered £100 short of what he paid for them. Will he do any better in the auction room?
The reserve is set at £200 to protect you. The question is now, will they make the £200? It's going to be a closer on thing. Let's find out. They're coming up now.
So that'll be 200 then. £200, somebody will. It's a start, thank you very much. 150 bid.
150 straight in, which is a good start.
150 bid. 150, 160, 170, 180, 190 now, 190, 190, 190, 190. We'll sell if you like, it's up to you, sir. 190.
They're calling, do you want to let them go at 190? Your decision. We need it quickly.
Yes.
190, we're selling away. Is there any further interest? I'm going to sell then at 190.
190 was bid in the sale room. It's about £155 to come back from this. Now, I know from your original investment of 220, that doesn't seem a very good deal. Tell me what you think.
I am a little bit disappointed, but that's how it is. You make some, you lose some.
That's right. I think you're absolutely right. That's the way to look at it. You start speculating in the auction. Sometimes you get a very good buy, you make a profit. Sometimes you pay that little bit too much. And perhaps when you bought them, you paid a little bit over the odds. So 190 quid, take away the commission, 155. Go and find yourself a new deal. And this time, let's hope it's a winner.
Coming up, Joe's turning to drink.
It'll look good with a few peanuts in it, a few olives and a nice gin on the side.
And has Tony had one already?
Disco light on a seal. Brilliant.
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal.
Let's catch up with Joe.
I've got a Moorcroft bowl next. It'll look good with a few peanuts in it, a few olives and a nice gin on the side.
It's been in my family for generations and I think it's time to move it on now.
I'm Joe and I understand that you're Jean.
I am, yes.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Are you a local girl?
Yes, yes. Skipton born and bred.
Skipton born and bred. I haven't even had time to look round Skipton.
Oh, don't know what you've missed.
Would you like to tell me how you own a piece of Moorcroft?
It was a wedding gift 40 years ago by an elderly relative and we've had it ever since, and I'm afraid to admit it's been tucked away in the loft.
Do you like Moorcroft?
Yes, I can appreciate it, but it just doesn't go with our decor.
Right. It's quite a pretty pattern. It's got nice marks underneath. I assume it's called poppies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the world expert on Moorcroft, but I quite like it. And I can't sell it. I have to sell you. I can buy it. I can't sell it.
But as long as you can buy it.
So, do you know how much you want for it?
I have an idea.
Would you like to share?
Not really.
Oh, no. £50.
Oh, no.
I have to start somewhere. £100. £150.
No, not enough.
Not enough?
No, not for such a beautiful piece.
Well, it is a beautiful piece. It's a poppy bowl. It's Moorcroft. Both independent valuers and auctioneers, they're all 2 to 250. I think that's probably realistic for that. If you got 250, you'd have about 40 quid to take off it.
Yeah.
That's if you got the top of the estimate. It's a surefire seller, so I'm going to leave you with Jo. She might want it, but if she digs her heels in, that's it. I'll see you at the auction then.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, as I said, it'll look good with peanuts in. 170.
No. No, sorry.
Buy you miserable, Jean.
I am, aren't I?
180.
No.
I just don't get Moorcroft. Everybody says it's popular and everybody says it's easy to sell, but not me. No, that's it. What do you want to do? Consult?
Yes, please. Auction.
Yeah. Right, okay.
Yes.
Have a good time.
Thank you very
Have you been
much.
to auction before?
No. New experience.
New experience. Hope you get lots of money.
If Joe doesn't see its merits, auctioneer Kevin Kendall does.
Yeah, Moorcroft's very much in fashion at the moment and it is a nice colour and I expect that to do very well.
Jean's joined David in the sale room where the Moorcroft bowl is about to go under the gavel.
On the deals day, Joe Brayshaw offered you £180. You've got a reserve on it of £200, which is fairly close. So if there was a deduction, you could go backwards a little bit.
Yes.
So we really need more than £200 I've got here that if it sells today, it will be put towards a holiday for a ruby wedding anniversary. Everything going okay for 40 years? Still happy?
Still trying.
Still trying. Still learning, still trying. All is going well 40 years later. I notice on my card there is a commission bid involved and maybe a telephone bid, so that's always a good sign. It's coming up now. Let's see what happens.
Where are you going to start me? I've got bids. I'm going to have to start at 210, 20, 30, 40, 50. 250 on bid.
Yes. I like to hear that. Reserve was 200, we're up to 250.
250 bid. 250, 260 now, 260.
260 in the room. You turned down 180. Good choice to come to auction.
260, 260 in the room. Have you all done? I'm selling then at 260.
OK, music to my ears anyway, so £260 under the gavel. We do have some commission to take off, and that's going to leave a net price of about £213, just a little over that. What's your first reaction?
That's very nice, yes.
Pleased?
Yes, very.
Well, you made the right decision. You turned down the 180, which seemed a realistic offer. £260 under the auctioneer's gavel, and you're taking home £213. Now that is going into the holiday fund for the Ruby wedding anniversary. What more can I say? A proper real deal.
Our next item is a piece of brewery advertising, and seller Eric knows exactly what he wants.
Looking for probably around about the £200 mark.
But will it get Tony's seal of approval?
What have you bought us in today then?
It's a Guinness seal lamp. It's Carltonware. It's from about the late 1950s, early 60s.
Okie doke.
There should be a lamp inside it, which makes the actual ball revolve round, and the light shines up through the holes on the top.
So you've got these stars and circles, and they'll be projected onto the ceiling.
Yeah.
How did you come by it?
It was given to us when my mother and father ran a working men's club in West Yorkshire, and it resided on the shelf behind the bar for a number of years, and eventually my mother said, well, you might as well have it because I've got no use for it, and it went into a box.
Oh, so it's been stuffed away, hidden in a box with no lights, being a light. I really quite like it, and I'm gonna have a go at that, if I may. With some of this. Well, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 120. That's a jolly good offer, don't you think?
No.
Is it close?
Close-ish.
Ish. Well, I'm kind of hovering at sort of 140-ish. That's where I kind of think it is, really.
Okay.
I'm always amazed sometimes at these commercial advertising signs, whether they be for beer, whether they be for dogs or paint or whatever it is, how well received they are. There's a variety of valuations here, but they all go between 150 and 250. 140 is on the table, which is the lower part of the estimate. Can we send you to auction, and can you get more than 160? Because you need to get more than 160 to wind up with more than that. Otherwise, it's a wasted exercise. The answer to that is I really don't know. I think if it was me, I'd be grabbing the 140.
Wow. I was almost on the button then.
Close.
Close. Do you know, I'm going to... David, you know, he's kind of said maybe a bit more. But, like I said, I do like it. So I'm going to round it up for you. Call it 3 bullseyes. You sure? Thank you very much. That's really, really kind. If my sons were a bit younger, I'd go straight into their bedroom, but they're grown up now. Disco light on a seal. Brilliant. I think I might be able to double my money on that, you know?
We'll find out if you do later, Tony. Coming up, Cheryl sets her sights on owning this beautiful Art Deco figure.
This is like the highlight of the day, right up my street. I'm really buzzing about this one.
But she's going to have to go all out to get the Duke on her side.
It's a very mean offer, and I'm going to tell Cheryl, what does she think she's playing at?
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal. Our last item of the day has got Cheryl in a bit of a spin.
Now I'm really, really excited. This is like the highlight of the day, right up my street. I'm really buzzing about this one. I'm going to really get the cash out and try and buy it.
Cheryl might be keen, but to make sure seller Lindsay walks away with the best price, the Duke and auctioneer Kevin Kendall are keeping a close eye on proceedings.
Hello, Lindsay.
Hello, Cheryl.
I'm very excited about this piece you've brought along today. I am liking this. So tell me, how did you come to own this figure?
I've inherited it. It belonged to my mum, and it came from her house when I cleared the house out. It was part of an old lamp. It was on a wooden base with like an old metal lampshade. It just didn't look right. It looked horrible. And I just thought, well, it's been taken off an original base. I knew it should have had like an onyx base on it, and just thought I'll bring it along today and see what you think of it.
Do you know anything about the designer of this figure?
I've been told it's Joseph Lorenzl. I've looked on the internet, and I think it's probably about 1930. But
you're absolutely right. You've done all my job for me. I'm just going to lift her off there. The very important thing about this is the signature there, and there's the Lorenzl signature. Yeah. One of the best designers of these figures, of Deco figures, extremely collectible, extremely wanted. The little slippers and the ankles, quite often they're cracked there or damaged. Right. Or the arms, you know, the things, these weren't really, really expensive when they were made, so sometimes people didn't take the greatest of care of them. They're always a bit sort of sexy, and some of them are nudes, but I think she is wonderful.
It's been a long time since I've seen some nice potential Art Deco figures on the programme. What do you think about it?
I love it. It's really, really stylish. It's what the market wants at the moment. Really nicely done, nicely finished with the colours and the onyx and everything. Yeah, I really like this. I fancy it.
How big a job do you think it is to get a specialist to put a base on that?
The right person could do that relatively easily. They'll have pieces of onyx around, marble bases that they can actually put on that quite easily.
When are you going to place your estimate on this?
If it had a base on it, I would probably have put it 1,000 to 1,500. As it is, a sensible come and buy me estimate would probably be 500 to 800.
Okay. Now that sounds about right because of the condition. Our independent values, they've gone a bit lower. They've kind of gone 4 to 5. I think they are not in touch at the moment. You are absolutely right, Kevin. Goods of the moment. Our dealer here today, Cheryl, does like Art Deco, and she may well have a spirited offer in mind. Let's see what she puts down.
I'm on fire. I love her, so I'm going to do my best and try and buy her.
Okay.
Do you have an idea of what she's worth?
Not really, no. I'd like to see what you were willing to offer me first.
Okay, right, let's get some cash out.
See if you can tempt me.
50, 100, 150, 200, 250. What do you think to £300 in cash?
I think it's probably worth a bit more than that. If you're so excited about it, then obviously there must be something.
I can't, you see, I can't hide my feelings. I'm a fool. I should just keep stum and
Cheryl is desperate to get her hands on this. Can the Duke convince her to up her offer?
Well, £300 has gone down. We're not impressed with that, Kevin, are we?
No, it's a very, very mean opening offer, is that?
It's a very mean offer, and I'm going to tell Cheryl, what does she think she's playing at?
Lindsay, £300 in cash, what do you think?
I don't want you to say anything, Lindsay, until I have spoken to you.
Okay.
4 to 500, 5 to 8 is the two estimations. Desirable, attractive, trendy, goods of the moment, highly desirable. They could be fighting over this in auction. So I'm going to say, Cheryl, if you want it, you're going to have to dig deep into that purse. 5 to 8 is where I believe it should be. It wouldn't surprise me if it exceeded at the auction. He's not one of the A-list, he's not a Shapirus, but he's a known name.
Thank you. Interesting.
Well, we'll keep going because you're not interested in 300. No. So, 350, 400, 450, 500, Lindsay. Don't forget the commission, though, at auction. It soon adds up.
I know.
David?
Well, now with £500 on the table, we are perhaps near to the equivalent in the auction house of £600. But I still think it's worth more than £600 in the sale room. The enamel work on the costume is not over-rubbed. Sometimes they can be very rubbed, and you can see the bronze through it.
Yeah.
That's in nice order. It still can be made into a wonderful figure with a new base on it. So I'm going to say it's worth more.
Lindsay, 550. 600.
Bit more.
A bit more. 650. My arm's slowing. He's coming back.
Well, I'm coming back this time because Cheryl really has stepped up to the plate here, hasn't she? So at the moment, £650. If we were to go to auction and get 800, take off 15%. Bear in mind, on top of the 15%, there is a little bit of that because it's a service. So 650 is not far away. Now, if we sell it to Cheryl, she'll make a profit, or she'll pass it over to another member of the family, maybe. Maybe she'll keep it. And then they will place a base on it. Now, a professional will find a base for it. I'm going to say, let's not be greedy.
Okay.
I'm going to advise you, 650, cash, takeaway, no worries about going to the auction. Will it sell? Will it sell?
Yeah.
Won't it sell?
I hear what you're saying.
This way, you're happy, more than expectation.
Yes, yeah.
There's probably still a few £100 for Cheryl to earn, but let her get on with it and get her earning it. I think it's a good offer.
Well, Lindsay, great advice from David as always. But as he was saying, these professionals that make these bases, they don't come cheap, believe me.
No. If you put another £10, I'll let you have the screws to go with it.
At last we've got a deal.
Yes, I think so.
Oh, there's the 10. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm really pleased with it. It was enough money. I thought it was a fair price, but it was so nice, so fresh on the market. I love her.
I honestly didn't think I'd have got that much. I seriously thought £200, £250, so 660. I am well chuffed.
Glad to hear it, Lindsay. Our sellers have walked away with nearly £1,700, but have our dealers turned a profit on their buys? Well, not all of them. Jo was in a fussy mood today.
I'd like to go home now because I've got to do a Toby jug.
So, unsurprisingly, she didn't buy a thing. That's what happens when you only offer 1 pence, Jo. Tony had high hopes for the seal lamp he paid £150 for.
I think I might be able to double my money on that, you know.
And while he's still waiting for the cash to come rolling in, he did make a quick turnaround on the Troika vase. A profit at last. Henry paid £200 for the Cavalier sword.
I suppose I'm delighted to buy it. All I've got to do now is find somebody that wants to buy it from me.
And he did, selling it for £270. So that leaves Cheryl to be crowned queen of the deals today, despite some of the sellers getting the better of her. Willow charmed her out of £40 for the silver-plated purse.
She made me pay far too much, but I don't really care because she was so cute and I really enjoyed the deal.
But she only came out even when she sold it on to another dealer. She gave the game away with the Lorenzl figure.
I can't hide my feelings. I'm a fool. I should just keep stum.
And ended up paying £660, but still made a little for her purse when she sold it on to a specialist Art Deco dealer.
We've had a really exciting day. There's been plenty of people here, lots of buying, lots of selling. That's just what I like to see. Don't forget to join me, David Dickinson, next time for Dickinson's Real Deal. See you.